So a couple of weeks ago, I was digging around on the 81 Porsche 928 looking for all the headlight mechanisms to harvest to put on the 79 car. And I dug out the fan motor, the cooling motor, electric motor, and the frame, and the condenser right here. Because the 79, the wisdom of the previous owner, they decided they were not going to have air conditioning. I don't know why. I don't care. So I'm going to put in my air conditioning system from my 81 car into the 79. So I took this off, and you can just tell by taking inventory of it that it needs to be blasted. It's kind of dirty, it's kind of crusty, and it's kind of corroded. So, I put it over here in the blasting booth. And then I started looking at the motor because I'm thinking, well, why doesn't the electric motor, turn over easily? So I started digging into it, took the bolt off, and you can see right there the threads, they just kind of got chewed up. I can work around that, but and I realized why the motor wasn't turning properly on the inside. I took the magnets out, and you can see that clip right there is complete, that clip is broken, and this clip is broken. They hold these magnets in place inside of the housing. Also in the housing was these plastic sheathing pieces of material that went between the magnet and the housing. So here is my question. Can magnets be attached on the inside, totally ignoring the broken clips, but utilizing panel bonding agent on the inside, put the magnets in place, and then put the unit back together again? The panel bond will hold. It's very, very sturdy and very, very good. Of course, I can clean up this rotor, get it nice. It doesn't really have much wear on it. It's just dirty. I can clean that up. These inside here can clean up. And that right there on the end, I'll probably just put a new nut on it and just tack weld it on, because it's never going to come apart again. So I'm just curious, the question is, can I use panel bond on the inside of that? Will it affect the magnetic qualities of the magnets? I don't think so, but I don't want to assume that. I want to run it by people out there, because perhaps, maybe some of y'all have answers. Maybe some of y'all have done this before. That's all I'm asking. Does anybody know? I'm going to proceed unless I hear something on the comments. Don't do it. That's a bad thing to do. It can mess up, blah, blah, blah. And it has to be born from experience. Have you personally witnessed it screwing up, or personally witnessed it working satisfactorily and with perfection? I don't care about opinions, only opinions born out of experience, first-hand knowledge or second-hand knowledge with a good eyes on something. That's all. Okay? Peace out, everybody. Good weekend to y'all. Be good, and keep these 928s on the road. Get them on the road. Make them happy. Make yourself happy. Bring the market up, because bring these 928s back. Make them good cars. They're so worth it. So worth it. Anybody out there skimping on doing quality maintenance on these cars, you're doing the car a great disservice. There's a guy out west. I won't mention any names, but he is doing something probably he should not be doing. He probably should be pulling that engine, pulling those heads off. The car's 40 years old. Come on. That's a no-brainer. There's nothing good. Don't assume anything is good. Make sure, verify it. Pull it apart, look at it. While you're in there, you'll be able to tinker, you'll be able to clean, verify, be a surgeon. Go in there, fix it. fix it correctly, and you'll have success. Bye, everybody. Choose. Okay, everybody, I am back. I didn't think I would be back, but taking this thing apart, looking at it more closely, there's a bearing right here that goes in the outer plate that I noticed was stuck. After I made the first part of this video, I thought that was the conclusion, but I went back into this and looked at it more closely and said, you know, there's a bearing right there. Look at it. It's a non-serviceable, well, actually, let me correct that. You can service it. It's not an easy bearing to take out because it has these pins in there. You got to punch them out. And then I don't know how they're going to be reused. They won't be, so I'm going to have to figure some other system out to put that on the plate that goes right there on the bearing. But this thing was filthy. Since 1981, the thing has never, ever been greased. So I'm curious how many, I'm actually not curious, I'm willing to bet money that there's a lot of fan motors out there that have this bearing that's toast. Admittedly, it's something I completely overlooked. It's something I had no vision on, something I didn't even think about until digging in. As I said at the conclusion of the first video that's now part of this one, take stuff apart, look at it, look for things that are wrong. Try to find something that needs to be addressed and fixed. I would have completely overlooked this little bearing. 100%. I did overlook it until I cleaned it, cleaned the whole motor in the cleaning solution, that special orange stuff I use. Cleaned this bearing, cleaned everything up, and now I'm just going to put a lot of grease in this thing, a real permanent grease, and put it back together again. Okay? Here we go. Details matter, because I guarantee you, if I put this thing on, cleaned it up, put it in the car, that fan kicks in, it'll make a lot of noise. This thing would squeal, and I wouldn't know where the squeal was coming from. Nor would you on your car if you have the same situation. Little details like that, you got to fix, you got to address, you got to make sure they're correct. Okay? Choose. Bye-bye. Okay, guess what, friends? I'm back for a third iteration of this one video. I serviced the bearing, took it out, cleaned it, ended up punching out the original pins that were in there. And I didn't have any small aluminum rivets, so I went over to Lowe's and bought some. But I had to pull that plate off to get the bearing out to clean it. And that bearing was full of junk. A lot of garbage, a lot of debris, 45 years worth. And got it clean, got 2 of the 4 rivets in. I had to change the end of the rivet gun to accommodate the 8mm rivet. I think it's 8mm, no, 1/8 rivet, excuse me, 1/8 rivet. And let me see if I can put the camera down and actually film this for a sec. We shall see. Don't know if that's going to work. Don't necessarily want to ask Mike that's here. I don't want that to focus, so alright, let's see how this sucker works. I put the vice grips on there because I didn't want one rivet to get really tight. Yeah, that one didn't go in that good. Yeah, I was worried about the dang on camera. Let me pop that out. Do it again. Yeah, scheisse. Man, none of these went in good. Shit. Huh. That's not a good sign. Here, let me come back. I can't do that and run the camera forever. Modifying the fan motor on the 928 Porsche. Drilling the holes a little bit bigger. Actually, I welded them up. Now I have to drill them to a smaller diameter to fit the smaller rivet. Make the fan work, all to service that bearing. A lot of work just to do that. And it sure takes a lot to go ahead and try to make a good video showing good content and showing a task, a condition, and a standard that is achieved. Sometimes you hit little snags like I did just now. I had to weld up those holes and then drill 1/8 size holes because the rivet was too big for that. So let me try to hold this thing down. Damn, this is really a pain to do. Trying to get that good video. Yeah, let's see, come on, don't break it. Okay. Good, much better. It's much tighter now than it was just a few moments ago. Now let me put the vice grip on that thing. Hold this end down. Get that one. Now I had music playing in the background, but I took it off because I didn't want to get any copyright strikes against me. Ah, man, why didn't that thing break? There it goes. Okay. Looks like it's holding on pretty well. Yep, this is going to work. This is going to work very well. Okay. Actually, I had no idea that doing this fix up, clean up, make serviceable would be such an involved little task to do. But I now have a serviceable bearing that is greased, and it should last another 43 years, and I probably will be no longer in this current capacity. I would have moved on to the great great beyond by then. So there it is. Finished, done, complete. Choose. Okay, I am back again, and this is the final time. As you can see here, the rivets are in. They are good and secure. There's no movement in there. And then when I put started to put it together just to test fit it, I looked in there and I could see, oh my goodness, another bearing. Not knowing the condition of it and assuming the absolute worst, I drilled out these, they were kind of like a rivet, but these ends were, they took a square edge and they flanged it out, made it like expand. So I drilled them out or popped them out and took that apart. And what that is that is not a bearing, that's a bushing. It's a brass bushing with a big felt strip around it and two washers, like a spring washer and then a regular washer. So I just cleaned it up a little bit, put it back together, and had to drill out the housing itself to a 13/64 to allow the rivet to go in. And the rivet went in. We're good to go. I was debating whether or not to use the shorter shank rivet or the longer shank, but I looked at the plastic and I thought, man, the plastic's old. I don't want this thing mushrooming over and really crushing it, so I went with a short one, thinking I could probably cut it out if it wasn't working, but you can see right here that it does, and it is successful and it is working. So this is all new ground, folks. This is all stuff that I don't know if anybody's actually ever addressing. But if it's not being addressed now, you are somewhat familiar with it, so you can address it. So anyways, I set out to do this today. I started on it. It's like, I'm going to finish this. I'm going to finish this today. And I did. And here we go. Ready to go online. And hopefully somebody out there can get some edification from this, because I'm sure this motor applies to multiple different Porsche models. It probably even has one on my 944. I bet there's a fan in it. I know there's two fans down here, but they're down below. It's on another car for another time. So there's that work. And I had to cut this thing off, this wire sheath, to get the wire to go all the way through so I can manipulate it. So I'm going to put this back on and tape it up, or maybe put a new one on and heat shrink it on, make it look good. So there we go. I'm going to go. It's very hot. Long day. Cheers.